Welcome in, welcome in. Are you guys here? Are you on time? Are you ready to be? You see that behind me? Are you ready to uncensor that which is attempted to be censored for even ages and dispensations and millennia? Yeah, are you ready? Because that's what we do here. We're the awakening crew. We're the weirdos. Where's all my weirdos at? Where's all the weirdos? While others are laughing, they don't know that they don't know what it means. And really, they're joking themselves because we know weirdos means empowerment. I'm telling you, it does. Just like I used to use the term gas. Where's my weirdos? Gas was get after self. I was in this real thing of lifting up back over a year ago, over a year ago, year and a half, maybe even going on 2 years. We were, one of my things here, and I was going to even use it and put it up. I even thought about, hey, I should make some coffee cups, West Coast Uncensored, gas, West Coast Uncensored, but gas. And I used gas for get after self. And it was kind of in a place that I was, and some of the people that were here was, I took that from a term before we get into today's video. And today's video is something that we talked about a lot, but we're just going to revisit because we're going through the aspects of all the disciplines. So we're doing Gnosticism today, and there won't be a video. I'm just going to go through it. I'm going to go through it. Stay right here. Stay right here. I'm going to show you something. Sorry it took so long. Let me grab something else. I'm going to share something with you. It goes along right with what we're doing today, y'all. Just be patient. Let me get my drink. Got my thirsty on. Today is still, I'm doing the recording for all these shows today. If you say, man, Daniel's got the same darn, the same darn shirt on yesterday and the day before. Every taping, we might need to buy him a shirt. I'll take the shirt, not really, but no, I'm doing my recording on one day. I don't try to record like every day, a different one recording. That's too time consuming when you're doing multiple things. So I'm recording today. Today's my third recording of the day. So it is still, remember the 5th of November. And I've been watching a little bit between recording. I thought about sharing it, but I didn't. But I thought about going in on something that was powerful, and you know what that was? He's decoding the election, and I'm just blown away by the decoding of the election. And by the decoding, even though both have good, powerful numbers, it pretty much look like it's connected to even the last 2 days, last night's Monday Night Football game gave you, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I guess we're playing the Chiefs, and then the Cleveland Cavaliers were playing the Bucks. Well, the thing they have in common, they're both playing the Bucks, and there's a Grover Cleveland thing connected to him. He's the only other president in history, Grover Cleveland Alexander, that was president twice, but not in a row. President skipped president. Trump would be the second. That would be two, but not in consecutive terms. 2 and 3 terms, right? And yeah, a lot. I don't want to get in that because now I'm thinking about some of the stuff he said and it's going to be that, but that's not what this is. But look, I told you. Can you see that? Can you see that good? Gosh darn, I don't see. I don't think you can. I can't see good. And closer is not good, is it? Okay. This right here is the lost scriptures of the new, they call it the New Testament, right? Better there? Okay, yeah, it's much better farther away. See that? Leaning at one side and it's going the other way. This right here is the Gnostic Gospels that were found in 1947. Dug up Gnostic Gospels. This is not part of the foundation of Gnosticism. This is where it comes from. Did you know when these books were found, and was it 1947, I believe, over in the, what is that, sea, in the Dead Sea Scrolls? This is it. Suggest you get them. I could read some of them here. I have done on one, the Book of John, the secret Book of John, to go into the Demiurge. This is where you get the Demiurge and Sophia and the Demiurge, who we've talked about. That the Gnostics talk about being the not real one, but his compromised the reality by his infusion of physical matter and what's happened as we see, the God that creates good and evil and plays both sides of the field and loves you one minute and wants to cast you in the hell for another one, and have you eaten your children because you disobeyed him, but he told you not to do things, then turned around and tells you to do the thing he told you not to do. Yeah, this would be the lost John in many different books, scriptures within this book. And in the last, one of the last things we talked about, we did a Manly P. Hall, which I said 2 days ago is really, really soaring in watches. This is The Secret of All Ages. This is the book that was written in the 1920s. This is dynamic. Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teaching of All Ages. Powerful. Now, where you have the guy that I'm talking about that I share the gematria from, he read this book and got gematria from him and then went into decoding from this book to learn gematria. The guy did the video of gematria here before. This will go with what we're talking about today. Okay. Goodreads. Goodreads. For all you that will read. We've been kind of propagating not to read anymore, right? But I'm sharing and going right into what we're going to talk about today. Let's go on the first part of it. Yes, let me get my trusty glasses for my X-ray vision. And has I'm definitely looking at this. Okay, let's go. Let's pull this a little closer so I get a better look, because my eyes on close stuff is the hardest to see. Let me move this out of the way. I don't want to. Let me grab this part. I don't want to stop sharing, so I don't want to hit the wrong thing. Okay, so right away, Wikipedia. We're in the Google. It says Wikipedia. If we want to go here, we could. So right away here, it tells you, let me see, I think there's a little bit back to this that it came from, maybe not. Definitely the dictionary has already shows you it's slight, to say the least, showing you the prominent heretical movement of the 2nd century Christian church. This is exactly why when you get information from them, they're trying to set you into a thinking of what's true and not, telling you it's heretical thinking. It was a heretical thinking of the Catholic Church, but the Catholic Church wasn't around until the 3rd century. 4th century, 3rd century, late 3rd going into 4th century. Let's talk the talk, the walk, the real talk. Gnosticism is 5,000 years before the 2nd century. That's the fact. So right here, the dictionary is feeding misinformation. Yeah, I said it on here. It's going on YouTube. So maybe I shouldn't say that, but I did. But anyways, because facts are facts. Anyways, so Gnosticism, right, when we look at that, says it's, okay, partly pre-Christian origin. It's not partly, it's all pre-Christian origin. The Gnostic doctrine taught that the world was created ruled by a lesser divinity, the Demiurge, and that Christ was a missionary of the remove the supreme divine being, esoteric knowledge, gnosis of the enable the redemption of the spirit, We can go in here and kind of see some more. The Britannica will talk about it, and some others will talk about it. And then we're going to look at what the word means. Not a great. You probably would get more, like I said, out of what when I went into here. Where was the? No, that was not it. Let's see some images. Let's pull this up and see what this is. I'll tell you if it's correct or not, because some of these things are just doing their thing. The terms of knowledge refers to a belief as rooted in special knowledge. The term gnosis is where you get the English word knowledge from. It's the knowing. Gnosticism, in a broadcast sense, is about a religious view based on the claim about knowledge. It's not really a religious view. Actually, religion will come against it, because this is about knowledge and your knowing turned on and amplified. Gnostic means knower. It doesn't swim with belief systems. Christianity, the Rome version, which comes in the third to the 4th century, is all based on belief systems. Dogma, doctrine. We've already kind of went here, and we're going to skip across, right? We're going to go into etymology of the word. When we looked up the etymology of the word esoteric and exoteric, we found out that there was a big difference. That the exoteric people were the outsiders, just give it to them. It's good for the public. They can consume that. And the esoteric was you needed to be in a club to know this hidden great knowledge. Gnosticism goes with the revealing of this knowledge within. The gnosis is where you get knowledge from. It's the within gnosis, or the within knowledge, right? So that's where you would get it from. So yeah, so this Gnosticism is based on the knowing within. Looking at the whole reality of the Old Testament and the God from the Old Testament, and then the New Testament, which they wrote a bunch of Gnostic Gospels that are not used by the Roman Gospels, even though there's Gnosticism in it, traces of it. When you find truth in the Bible that you use now, it will be Gnostic truth. You'll see, oh, okay, I can relate on that. That's really telling you inner truth, yes. Even though they tried to hide it and they kicked out most of it, this would be the gnosis, or the knowing. When you start understanding and doing your studying on Rome and what they allowed in, they didn't allow a lot of stuff in there, because you can't control the masses when you put truth in, because you'll set them free. The last thing they wanted to do was set you free. They wanted to set you into the Pope's hands. Facts. And, and all that. We see the game. The Gnostics seen the game then. And then later, Rome and went about killing and murdering Gnostics and trying to burn up all their writings or take all their writings. That's why they dug them and hid them in places. That's why they wrote in parables. That's why they wrote in there, so it couldn't be decoded if the books were found by them who were against them. So now we always have looked at us as they seized the Alexander Library. They have the knowledge under the caves or under the tunnels in Rome. And we're looking at secret societies one way. Yes, they were hijacked, but there was times that it wasn't always that. There's two things can be right. Why? Because we live in a paradox. Certain people, out of righteous reasons, hid the knowledge, hid the books away from the destroyers who wanted to destroy them physically, and they did. They wiped out villages. They wiped out communities of Gnostics, which if me and you were there then, and we may have been, we'd have been wiped out. Yeah. The Gnostics looked at the knowledge within. If you go on these Gnostic Gospels, you're not going to see all those miracles that you see in the New Testament, the walking on water. It's all based on a Christ that was a spiritual, high level, raised foundation, unity, oneness Christ. That's a fact. And then you get into what I had read earlier. Oh, the demiurge. Yeah, that's the Yahweh, Baal, Yahweh. And what's the other character in the Old Testament? Yahweh, and there might be another character, and that's why he said he made good and evil. I made it for my own purpose. I said he's like a sock puppet. I've said before, right? That Yahweh, Waya, is like a sock puppet. He's good on one hand and bad on the other. And it's like, I'm so good. I love you. I'm going to give you all the fruits and you can be like me. But then the other side, when you become like me, I'm going to knock your ass down to the ground again. And you didn't obey me. I want to have you eating your own children. Yeah. Yeah. One more time. That one. Yeah. And then if you're in the story, he's really not, if you go in the story of the secret book of John, he's really kind of scared because the humans have light. He doesn't have light. And actually he realizes that the ones that came forth in the physical actually have more value and more power and more knowledge than him and have more potential than him. And he's jealous. That's why he's a jealous God. He's jealous of us in the Gnostic teaching of the people. Yeah. Yeah. One more time. Yeah. Because we know we can go through all the inabilities. I've went through it and we've did this before, but that's really what Gnosticism is. Basic people who said there were knowers because they received the knowledge within them, which we know as revelation knowledge, and that knowledge of the knower, not the believer anymore, and not the storyteller anymore that just believes something was said without sight of you. Just believe and it shall be done. No, they were knowers. Where's my weirdos? You're all knowers. Yeah. So let's go to the etymology part of this, and we'll just kind of cover this, and we'll be in that. So, Gnostic. Believer, here's the mysticism connected to it, right? Here we go. The mysticism connected to it. Believer in a Gnostic, mystical, religious doctrine of spiritual knowledge. This doesn't really make sense because it's not about a believer. It's really about a knower. So I'm going to debunk where this writing came from immediately because it shows they don't know. And I see through the ham hock of this right here in a mystical. And so we're mystics. And that's another thing we're going to go over is what is mysticism? What is a mystic? Well, that's another thing we'll cover because that's connected to this too. All of them are interconnected. Actually, all these values of all these different disciplines, realize they're the same pie and their parts are different from each other, but they're the same pie, and they understand this discipline connects to this discipline. What they don't, I keep telling you, they teach separate or compartmentalize in your university knowledge. That's why they don't know anything about this other thing, but they only know what they've been taught. That's not universal knowledge at all. Yeah. And then, I can go into that. I have it can be a jumping board for me when I go into the education system because I know what it is. I like I said, read the 1907 school board meeting, which we did a video on here. You'll know what you're considered by the elite, by Rockefeller and what's his name? It was the Rockefeller and Gates Foundation. Yeah. Billy's grandpas. Yeah. Yeah. Go find out about those fellas and you'll know. But anyways, they did a 1907, and I have a video for it. So let's read with it more. Gnostic from the late Gnostikos, is that stikos? Noun of the adjective gnostikos, knowing, able to discern, good at knowing, known to be known. Right there, telling you the difference between a believer and knower is light years. That's what the difference, it's really being a knower. And that's what many of you have started walking and going, I'm a knower. I know. I don't know how I know. Certain times you get these, uploads, and you're like, oh God, I know. Or you get a feeling that you get your intuition, you get all the clairs working and you'll touch something and you know. You don't have proof that you know. You can't prove it logically to the other side of your brain, but you know. You know that you know that you know that you know that you know. And it may not be provable. That's the difference between believing and knowing. You can believe anything and say, oh, this is this or this or this. Peanut butter flies on a cracker and it has wings and flies. Well, we know that's not true. But you can believe it all you want. You can believe a lot of jumbo gumbo that's not, because you're not a knower. And that was a difference when they wanted to create a belief system to engulf the people, because Pisces is an age of belief. But the Gnostics stood strong, and they went about, there are another ones they killed. The so-called religion was out there killing them that would get in their way. So these folks, these Gnostics of old times, which are very many villages, the Cathars, the Essenes, and I'm going to get into the Essenes. If you've seen in the other video that Edgar Casey, he said the Essene, he called out the group in one of his readings, the Essenes, he says, which was like the teachings of Christ, because that is a Gnostic group that, yes, yes, and I will do the Essenes. We'll go back and see if we can get some information on the Essenes, and I will do a video, if not next, on the Essenes after this one. But yeah, so let's read. We learn to know, come to know, applied to various Christian sects that claim direct personal knowledge beyond the gospel of church hierarchy appeared to them in the first century. Way before that, flourished in the second, were stamped out by the sixth. Guess who stamped them out? Rome. Of course, they stamp out everybody who comes against. Yeah, if I could say the word. You know what I mean. You catch my spiritual gnosis drift. Like Tokyo Drift, that movie, my Gnosis Drift, Gnostic Drift, you know. Because you guys have got uploaded. That's why you walked out of many of your churches or walked out of your situation when you woke up, because you realized you were knowing something that was not provided, that ran circles around what you were getting in those religious sects of churches. You know, they're asleep. And I came out of it. And I'm going to be honest, we have purpose in why we go through things and go through things. I was in a church, very, very hardcore Pentecostal church, very hard, strong doctrine that they drove home that they could actually use proving literal scriptures more than even the other base churches to me were proving that by what they would prove by using the book of Acts, right? And I got grafted and went into it. It changed my life, because my life before that was I was either gonna die or go to jail. That was probably the next things for me, or OD or something. Yeah, and that's facts. It changed my life, and I did change my life in a short period of time once I got involved, within 2 or 3 months. And the things I used to do, I was not doing no more, not participating in anymore. But down the road, 3, 4, 5 years, I started seeing everything that's in here. As I became a very avid Bible reader and studier, I'm like, everything that we're supposed to be entitled to, we don't see any of us doing. Because you're telling me we're believing this, but I don't see what's in here that you do with it's believing. Why aren't we touching them and they're raising up? Why aren't we raising the dead? Paul talks about having abundance of revelation and knowledge. Why don't we have abundance and revelation? If it doesn't go past your doctrine, you call it heresy. Boom. That's why this says the heretical, right, from the beginning. It was heresy. And we had to go past the hierarchy, because we found out it really wasn't high. It was just guarding the stuff that was being ran reverse order of truth, and we went beyond it. And they killed them. They murdered them. I mean, they destroyed villages and communities that were thriving with this knowledge and oneness and unity with knowledge. These were villages and towns that thrived for millenniums, 3 and 4, 5, 600 years, getting along, having this knowledge, going through their initiations and just loving each other and just growing in spirituality and not fearful of death. And then they would go and slay them. Let's be honest, that's what happened with your modern Christianity. You know, I'm just being honest. That's the truth. That's what it was from. That's where it comes from. We don't need any as Gnostic stuff, right? All right, it went off without glitching. This glitched recently. So yeah, that's Gnosticism in a sense. You're knowers. And many of you didn't even maybe say, I'm a knower. You're a Gnostic. You're a knower, you're a Gnostic, because you're a knower. You're led by your inner knowledge is bloomed like springtime within. It's bloomed. Like your chakras bloom. Get up here, they start blooming out and magnifying, right? Magnify, 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 magnify. The wholeness. But you guys have a great day, and we cover Gnosticism today. You guys have a great day. Remember, if you feel it and can, bless, because I want to upgrade. I have to fix something to get I found out, I think, I'm going to have this diagnosed, this computer, and I'm kind of don't want it to be held more than a couple of days as I need it to record, but I want to get it where it connects, because I found out why it's not connecting to my mic and all that stuff. So I want to get that service done. But you guys have a great day. But give if you can. D-Boy, West Coast Uncensored. It'll be on this video, the screen, and it will be in the description of every video we're to give to this work. And I appreciate it. And I know that you guys who give will be manifested abundance. Just walk in your abundance when you know, and if you can, it's okay. But if you can, and you feel it, and you're pushed to do it, you feel that unction, I'm supposed to do something, I'm supposed to give. I would definitely use it for the betterment of stuff here.